I know y'all thought that I was done, but I'm back. Hi, everybody, and this is Auntie, and I am wanting to do a separate video to talk about 90 Day Fiance the other way, Season 2, Episode 14, The Truth Hurts, Jihoon Devan Edition. If this is your first time being here, please like, comment, and subscribe to my channel. And to all of my new subscribers, thank you all so much for joining the family. And to all of my nieces and nephews who have been here with me for the long haul, thank you so much for your continued support. So I just finished doing a review on 90 Day Fiance, and I left out this couple on purpose. And the question for the night is, why was the baby as wet as she was? Y'all. Now, we have seen a lot of things happen with this particular couple on this particular episode. We saw Devan's mother leaving, right? And so, of course, they were extremely, the mother was extremely candid about her opinion about Jihoon and um, Devan's relationship. So they go to a cafe, right, and they have a conversation. And in that conversation, the mother says that she sees her daughter's relationship like a broken bridge. And the children and Jihoon and Devan have gotten on this train. She sees that the track is broken, but the train has already left the station. And she sees that, basically, inevitably, it's going to be an accident and a crash. And so this is how she talked about the relationship between the two of them. In the meantime, we see Jihoon at home with the two kids, and the mother and her chuckle about the fact that the baby is probably beating up Jihoon. Let's just use that word, all right? They were toying around with it, but literally, that is what the baby was doing. Now, I know that this young lady has made a lot of excuses for this child's behavior, indicating that this was taped over a year ago and that the baby was 3. To my understanding, the baby is 5. So if this was taped over a year ago, the baby was 4. Now, we have heard her on Instagram, by her own admission, indicate that, this particular child, right, um, um, that TLC had promised her that they would not show the fact that this 4-year-old child was still in diapers and drinking out of a bottle. According to her, she indicated that, they broke a contract or a verbal agreement with her and showed this. But when we saw the baby with her little orphan Annie outfit on, looking like, like, I don't know what she was looking like. But we saw that, the baby was jumping on the bed, and we had heard her tell her multiple times to stop jumping on the bed. Now, this baby is 4, okay? She's not 2, she's not 1, she is 4 years old. The baby was jumping on the bed. The next time we saw the baby, she was completely and totally soaked and wet. Now, I don't know about you all, but I sat there and I was just like, okay, let me look and see if anybody else is soaking wet. There was nobody else in the house soaking wet. I was thinking maybe the air conditioning isn't working. Maybe maybe the air conditioner isn't working. Maybe they had just taken a dip in a swimming pool somewhere out there at the hotel or at the resort or wherever they were. But I noticed that nobody else, including the little baby, was wet. So why in the hell was this baby soaking wet? Could it have been that she was soaking wet because she refused to stop jumping on that bed and jumped on that bed until she just every pore in her body just let out liquid? Like, I could not understand it. And the thing about it is that the mother is saying a lot of things about Jihoon, but saying very little about her daughter. See, at the end of the day, this man has just been introduced to this girl, this relationship, this ready-made family. And I truly believe that when men take on relationships with women where they have children, that they should become a surrogate parent, as if you will, okay? Um, but that the children do come as a package. But when is anybody going to be able to really discipline this little girl and get her straight? Even when the grandmother was leaving, okay, with her evil ass, in my opinion, was leaving, she was saying, Grandma, don't go. But the little girl was soaking wet, and I could not understand what in the pilgrim was going on with that outfit. So we've seen this little girl enough over the time period to say that there is absolutely something wrong with Devan. And her mom is trying to make this about him. So when we see the mom leave and everything, Jihoon was like, yeah, she's gone and I can finally breathe again. And I'm sure that he can, because all he has been, from what we've seen. Now, whether or not this is editing and I don't know. I don't care. It ain't my job to, well, I mean, it is in a little bit, but I mean, I'm just one voice out in the land of many voices. But all she has done is criticize this man in this particular season. That's all we've seen is her criticize, cry for money, tell him, if you love me like you say you love me, then you're going to get all your money from your mom. So now we see him, at home. He had mentioned to the mother prior to her leaving that he was going to miss her. The mother just looked at him, didn't make a comment or anything. She's mad. This is misdirected anger, in my opinion. She's mad that this little girl, cannot go out in public or anywhere without somebody holding her hand, because she doesn't, she hasn't learned yet. I don't know what it is, what kind of parenting technique that she's using in order to take care of this baby. But it's just very, very disheartening to a lot of us. Many people have said that children are off limits, right? You don't talk about the children. And while I agree with that, I do believe that we have a right or opportunity as content creators to criticize the parents. I don't think that the parents are off limits, and I don't think that pointing out things that the children are doing is wrong for us as content creators to call out. You have to call a thing a thing. And for people who sit there and make excuses for this kind of behavior, I pity you, because how you, how's your child? How things going on with your child? Now, I don't have a perfect child. I didn't have a perfect child raising her. She's still not a perfect child, because there is no perfect kid, but she's a perfect kid for her. So I'm sure that Devan sees this as a perfect kid for her. But just being an outsider looking in, I'm saying, bitch, there's some problems. There's some problems with her mother, because her mother, with whatever the mother's name is. Well, she is not making her daughter take responsibility, but yet the two of them sit at the table and say that his mama is enabling him. Well, what is your mother doing to enable you to enable your child? Okay. Now, we have heard out in from different blog sites and magazines and different things that that she is now with another man. And I'm wondering, when does she incorporate this other man into her life, and how many men is she going to incorporate her into her life? By her own admission, okay, in her Instagram vlog, she had mentioned that she had been going back and forth to South Korea to be with him multiple times, that this was not the first, third, fourth time that she had been with him. And I really believe that a lot of the things that we're seeing coming from this girl could possibly be instability, where this little girl doesn't have an opportunity to be in a stable environment long enough to get trained or disciplined or whatever the lack is. I know that there is a lack because we see it on television. There is no excuse for a child to be on a bottle, right? And I'm sure just the average person out here knows there's no excuse for that baby to be to still be on the bottle and wearing pull-ups. it's got to be some responsibility placed on the mom and on the dad, who happens to be Jihoon at the time, for making sure that this little girl matures and that she raised up, she's raised up to be a healthy individual. So I wanted to make sure that I set it aside from them, because I didn't want it to be, one of those videos where, we laughing and kikiing, and then we got to talk about these mofos. Now, Jihoon, got a telephone call from his mother. His mother had told him that she needed the credit card, right? And so she was like, why is your mother calling? And so he tells her that, I got my mother credit card. And she said, well, why do you have it? He said, because I needed some gas money. And she was like, you need to stop asking your mother for money. You need to grow up and be a man. But you know what? In the same way that you want his mama to cut him off and to grow him up, is the same way that you need to grow your baby up. See, it's very easy to look into another house and throw a brick or stone, not realizing that you got glass windows of your own. You need to do the things that you need to do as a mom to make sure that we're not looking at your baby jumping up on and down on a bed, and she is soaked and wet like she's been in a swimming pool. Like, and then here we see this little girl with a grown ass man beating on him, and you think you and your mama thought that that was cute. Like, what was cute about that? So like, if he, accidentally tapped her or something like that, then see, you would have an issue with it. You would have an issue with him tapping that ass, okay, because she's rat tat 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 on him, and he's sitting here holding a whole baby who doesn't appear to be walking yet, and he could easily, her punches could easily land on a baby, or just, it's just totally inappropriate for a child to be putting their hand on somebody like that. But see, we as content creators, as people who are covering this show, we ain't supposed to have no opinion about that. We're not supposed to say anything. You know what I'm saying? And it's like, okay, like, why aren't we supposed to say anything? You put your baby out there on television. Now, here we have her indicating that, she put out on Instagram the other day saying all kinds of stuff about Jihoon and about his immaturity and all that kind of stuff. What was that? Was that to justify her position, justify this new relationship that she finds herself in? Like, what was all of that about? Like seriously, what was that about? What See, she don't want to talk to me. She don't want to talk to me because I'm going to come from a mother's perspective. Because, see, I am a mom. I've been a mom for a long time. And while I know everybody has different ways of how they're going to raise their children and stuff like that, right? Because we have free will, and we have rights to do whatever we want to do, with our children. There's some things that's just universal. You need to grow your baby up and not show her next season. Now, I don't know whether or not she's going to be canceled, whether she's coming back, whether she's going to advertise this relationship that she has with this new guy, who I understand is an actor. I don't know if he's an actor or not. I guess I could have asked my daughter, but, because she's totally into K-pop. I probably could have asked her who he was and how many films he's been featured in. But is she going to come back and now have this other guy and then have her baby involved in a relationship with him? Like, when is enough a damn enough? You know what I mean? Like for real. And Jihoon says that, I'm happy, I'm free, but the freedom is going to come with the separation of him and this young lady, and the divorce of him and this young lady. It just seems like she just does not have, the best taste in men, all right, if you will. And that's just for Auntie. Damn it, I'm trying to tell you, that's putting it mildly, okay? Would you not agree? Oh, I'm being very mild and very tactful and trying to be a little diplomatic up in this month. Okay, but I just really believe that, her and her mother did not do the best job of trying to fix the situation with him. It was always, we against you, you against us type of situation. And I just believe that the best thing for everybody is for them not to be together again. I don't know what this girl's end game is. I truly don't understand that. But I want to know, why was that baby soaking wet like that? Why was that baby sweating profusely? Like, what was going on at the time of filming, where this baby shows up on the screen and she is soaking wet, where her dress just doesn't look like it's kept, doesn't look like it was ironed for the day. And I just didn't know if she was, doing an advertisement for a Little Debbie commercial or not. But I tell you what, if you decide that you're going to come back, please present your baby better than what you have. Let it be your responsibility to make sure that your baby is seen in the best light, and not that of a television show, a producer, a grip man, a cameraman, or anybody else. Get your together, young, so that your baby will not be something that we're all interested in. You understand what I'm saying? If you don't put her little ass out there, we wouldn't be interested in it. There are a lot of people who are filming and they have children and they're not showing their children. Okay. Now, I know the other day that some people had some issues with me about something that I said about Kalani. And I wasn't saying that I think that it's a bad thing. What I was saying is, I just think that, for a woman who grew up in the generation that I grew up in, we didn't do that. We didn't have our babies breastfeeding when they're up in age. Okay, so for me, when I said that and indicated that, I understand that a couple of people got a little angry and mad with me about it. I ain't gonna dwell on it like for real, but I am going to give you an explanation, and that explanation is, I grew up way back in the '60s, boo, and for us, we just did not do it. It wasn't socially acceptable, and maybe it is now. But for me, when I'm seeing a baby that's walking and talking and doing, what they do and all of that kind of stuff, it's a little weird for me to see that. But I meant no offense. I believe that breastfeeding is very healthy. I think it's the most healthy way of providing nutrition to your children. But I'm just, I don't know. I guess I don't know, because of the generation I grew up in, when is the acceptable time for a baby to get off? And then, you know what? At the end of the day, it's not for me to judge that situation. I said it. If you got offended by it, you know what? This is my way of saying I apologize. I meant no offense to you, but at the same time, we all got opinions, and as we know, opinions are like buttholes. We all got one, okay? And if we don't have, well, we did, all right, because it got to come out some kind of way. And so I just wanted to make sure that I asked the question. You all put it down in the comment section. Why do you believe that baby was wet like that, right? Because the baby was soaking wet. And it just doesn't seem like there's a whole lot of time and stuff spent with her. It like she just was all over the place. And I just cannot understand for the life of me why Devan's mother doesn't believe that she's just as enabled as her husband. Or should I say ex-husband? Or should I say ex-husband on the way? And I thank you so much for being here. Please like, comment, and subscribe to my channel. And don't forget to share it on any of the social media platforms that you find it on. If it's enjoyable for you, boo, it's enjoyable for everybody. Love you all to pieces and have a great night. Bye, y'all.